A warm welcome to the session. So today we are going to talk about cell, the unit of life. So the word cell comes from the Latin word cella, and cella means small room. So when Robert Hooke discovered cell with the discovery of his compound microscope, he found small compartments in the cell. So these compartments mean in Greek or in Latin means cella. That's why he coined the term cell. Now let's go to the shape of the cell. So different cells have different shapes. Some can be oval like the RBC cell, red blood cell. Some can be circular. Some can be cylindrical. Some can be rectangular. So based on the need, cells are of different shapes. Similarly, even the size of the cell. The size of the cell also varies as per the need. Like some can be as small as bacteria cell, some can be as large as ostrich egg cell, some can be as long as nerve cell. So that's why since cells are of different size and shapes, they are called as the structural unit of life because they different cells have different structures. Now let's reflect on this statement. Elephant is larger and ant is smaller. Does that mean elephant has larger size cell and ant has smaller size cell? So let's reflect on it. So size of a cell does not determine the size of an elephant or an ant. It is the number of cells that determines the size of an animal or an plant. So if the animal is larger, we should not assume that it has larger size cell, or ant is smaller because it has smaller size cell. All the cells are of similar shapes, similar sizes, not shapes, similar sizes. But larger the animal, more the number of cells, smaller the animal, lesser the number of cells. Now let's ask ourselves, do all the cells function the same? So different cells have different functions. Example, nerve cell is to transfer impulse, right? So likewise, different cells have different functions. That's why cells are called as the functional unit of life. Now let's define cell. Since we have learned cells are of different shapes, different sizes, and different cells have different functions. Now let's define cell. So cells are defined as the structural and functional unit of life because different cells have different size, different shapes, and different cells function differently. That's why cells are defined as the structural and functional unit of life. Cells can also be defined as the building blocks of life because any organism is made up of cells, millions of cells. So a group of cell makes tissue, a group of tissue makes an organ, a group of organ makes an organ system, and a group of organ system makes an organism. So since cell is the simplest form of life, therefore it's called as the building blocks of life. Now remember, the study of cell is called as cytology or cell biology or cellular biology. Now let's talk about the types of cell. So there are two types of cell. One is called eukaryotic cell and the other one is called prokaryotic cell. So you have learned about eukaryotic cell in the lower classes. So henceforth we'll be discussing more about prokaryotic cell. However, let's talk about why cells are distinguished into eukaryotic or prokaryotic. So they are categorized into eukaryotic or prokaryotic cell based on the presence of membrane-bound cell organelles and the presence of nuclear membrane. So for now, just remember eukaryotic cell have membrane-bound cell organelles and they also consist of clear nucleus. Whereas prokaryotic cells, their organelles doesn't have membrane-bound. I mean, there is no membrane-bound cell organelles as well as we cannot see clear nucleus. About this, the detailed study about prokaryotic cell will be done in the next session. Thank you.